We are live, guys, with another Monday in the house. Make sure my volume is coming through just fine. Guys, when you come in, make sure that you give me a one in the chat if you guys can hear me. I don't want to start this show off, this broadcast off, without you guys being able to hear me. Let me wipe the sweat from my nose. I still got that. Still shower warm, guys. I just took a nice little shower for the show. And I do that to ensure that I'm feeling fresh. There's something about a shower right before the show. I even put cologne on because it's almost as if like I'm preparing for an interview. You want to look sharp, you want to be sharp, you want to smell good. And that's what I do before these shows, man. But I get shower warm and it is hot. It is hot here in Texas. So it takes me a while to cool off, especially in my little studio back here. But come on in, guys. Come on in while we get all ready for the show. And I want you guys, when you come in, make sure that you leave me a one in the chat if you guys can hear me. I got Ant Dog in the house. My brother Life of Cam is in the house. I sent him a text message today. He sent me a text message on yesterday. Get to see you, Life of Cam. Man, we would love to host you here, Brother Kamal, but we are going to be gone on Monday, heading up north. It's going to be interesting because next Monday, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this show because we're going to be in Oklahoma City. We're going to be heading towards Oklahoma City on Monday, leaving New Braunfels to make our way up north. And Oklahoma City is our first stop. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do this show. And I may have to just move it. I may have to move it until Tuesday or something like that, where we're in a position where I got the show. So I'm going to give you guys a heads up that next Monday, I might have some difficulties doing the show. I may get a chance to record it earlier during the week, this week right here, if time allows me to do so. I will do it that way and then run the show on Monday, and it will just be a pre-recorded show. But man, Life of Cam, we would love to have you here in the fall when time permits, when your schedule clears up, when my schedule clears up, as soon as we get back from the summer. But get to see you, my man. Get to see you, Ant Dog. You see the progress in the beard? I know, right? It's getting thick, getting hairy. I like it. Ant Dog says, sounds like you should implement the sauna into your workouts 3 times a week. Yeah, you know, I've never done the sauna, Ant Dog, but I definitely am interested into the sauna. I just don't like the heat, man. I'm gonna tell you like this: after working out, getting to a hot sauna does not feel good to me. It doesn't even sound good. Or either before a workout, it doesn't sound good. But I know there is a lot of benefits from doing a sauna. The sweat, all that sort of stuff, your body temperature, and it can help you out as far as like getting out of the shower and cooling off and all that other stuff, all the benefits from it. I just never did it, and I just don't like to be in the heat, man. So as soon as I get out of the shower, a lot of the times I am shower warm for at least a good 5 minutes. My body temperature needs to cool down because I have that shower. I got it blazing, man. I'm one of those dudes who gets in the shower and I need it the boiling hot water. That's what I like. I like that, the boiling hot water hit the skin. So anyway, but what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another Monday stream, your weekly reset where we don't just talk about the news, guys. We break it down so that you can win through the entire segment. We're going to give you guys that game today. Before we get started, guys, I've been thinking about you. What's one thing that you're working on this week? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what is one thing that you're working on this week, because I want to know. I got a lot of things that I'm working on this week, but I want to know about you guys, because that's what the show is really about. It's about you all, and you guys choose to spend your Monday evenings with me. So I want to know a little bit more about you. So talk to me about what you got going on from a career standpoint, side hustle, budget. Just go ahead and drop it in the chat. Let me tell you guys about my weekend, man. It's hot here in Texas. I'm telling you right now, it is 95 degrees right now, mostly sunny. But this weekend, especially yesterday, the highest temperatures that we've had, 97 degrees. And it was 88% humidity. I had a flag football game yesterday with my squad, and I was out in the heat from 12 to about a little after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And let me tell you like this, man. We practiced first, then we had a game, then we was in the heat. My battery drained yesterday. I'm talking about I had a full battery going into the game. By the end of that game, in the end of the afternoon, I can feel the depletion because of this heat. And that's why I'm getting away from it. That's why I'm getting away from it this summer. The triple digit heats, it doesn't feel good. A lot of people love it. I can't stand it. Okay. At least for a long period of time. So that's why we choose to go to Wisconsin in the summers to break up the heat and get away from it. And we have the luxury of doing that because I work remote and my wife, she doesn't work. So she works for me. She works for the house and our kids are out of school. So it's a perfect time for us to go to Wisconsin, spend some time with my mom in the Sun Prairie area, spend some time with her mom in Brookfield, Wisconsin. So we're in between Madison and Milwaukee. And the weather in Madison, Milwaukee, typically in the summertime, is beautiful. You're talking about maybe a high of 90. That's a maybe, but typical is in the 80s. Cool weather. You can be outside all the day. You can chill out. And it's lovely. So we get away from it and just enjoy time with the family. And I'm looking forward to that. But let me tell you guys about what we did yesterday. We won our game. Now we're going to the championship. And we've been invited to the Under the Lights Flag Football National Championships in July. That's what we've been invited to. So, I spend a lot of time coaching kids and coaching my son and my daughter. And I love it because it's part of who I am and what I do and part of even this show, coaching and mentoring and stuff like that. But when you are able to set a goal for yourselves and able to accomplish it, it's pretty remarkable, especially when you have 6, 7, and 8-year-old boys and they can see it and you can show them what their beginning numbers were like and the ending numbers were like. You can take stats and can show them what their speed was like and how they got faster during the season from the workouts that we've been doing. It's pretty darn remarkable. So I'm very excited about the opportunity to win the championship because we have one more game to ultimately win the championship. It's against a team that we've scrimmaged before, but I don't have a lot of film on them. So I got to figure out how we can make adjustments on the fly, but also how I can get some video of these guys. I know they practice on Friday, so I may have to go out to their practice field, kind of scope it out and kind of go from there. But guys, that was my weekend, man. I had a great weekend with the family, but it was filled mostly with sports, flag football specifically, and spending some time with the family. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic weekend as well. We're going to have a good show today. We're going to have a fantastic show today. Tonight's show is going to be, really around people who are experiencing systematic failure. Okay? Systematic failure and systemic failure. So we're going to talk about FedEx and how they're laying off people. We're going to talk about teachers quitting in droves and walking away from a system that's broken. We're going to talk about how a lot of people are spending a lot of money on car payments. They're spending a lot of money on car payments. And that's turning the middle class families upside down. So we're going to react to those stories. Then I'm going to break down what's really happening and what you can do to stay ready when the system doesn't protect you guys. So that's what the show is going to be about today. I want you guys to be active, man. You got to be active. We're going to have some fun. You know how I do it. I like to react to these videos and get your guys' opinion. So make sure that you are committing to typing in the chat. Give me your feedback. Give me your thoughts. And let's interact with each other. That's how I like to have these shows because I get the opportunity to learn from you all just as much as you get the entertainment and the education from me. But you guys are a lot smarter than me in a lot of areas. And you have different views and different opinions. And I respect those. That's one thing about the show. I respect those opinions. And I can learn from them because sometimes I can tell you like this. It ain't no sometimes. It's the majority of times I live under a rock. And what I view things as may not be what other people view as. And I am going against the grain on a lot of things, especially when everybody's running towards something. I am being that individual that's really going against the grain in my life. So if everybody's going right, I'm going to be that guy that decides to go left and take their family the other direction because I know the pigs get slaughtered when everybody goes. Okay. So that's what we got going on. The Life of Cam says, congratulations on the 60K. I appreciate it, my man. Yes, we hit 60K. We blew through 60K Life of Cam. I know I probably should have celebrated that. And thank you all for allowing that to happen, because, we continue to put out content that people want to watch, that's helping people to understand what careers that they can decide on, where the industry is going, but also the mistakes that you can make and how you can end up. That's what we do on this channel. It's a complete educational channel. And I am glad that now that YouTube is monetizing and pushing this kind of content. I've been doing it for a very long time, and YouTube typically rewards the entertainment content, but now they're starting to really focus on the educational pieces and starting to push that. And my channel has benefited and has benefited from it. The money is up, right? The money is up. The subscribers are going up. The views are going up. 2025 is shaping to be a fantastic year, guys, and it's happening because of you guys. Good to see you, Odin. He says, I try to play once a week. Seems like no getting ahead unless you win. That's true. It's true. The Life of Cam says, the only way I could ever play lottery if I had an insider knowledge. Oh, so he's playing lottery. You guys are talking about lottery. Life of Cam says he's studying for the PMP. Get that PMP done, project management certification. That is a good certification that you need to get. And guys, let me tell you something about my boy, Life of Cam, man. Talk to him at least once a month. Just closed on his brand new duplex, crushing it, studying for his PMP. Going to be getting married pretty darn soon. Mega rich, richer than I am. And just got everything going in the right direction. Doing it the right way. Going to get a PhD. Just crushing it, man. The kind of guys that you want to stay next to, because ultimately he's going to be a multimillionaire. And he's on his way right now. Good peoples. Eden says, do you think playing the lottery in the current environment is still a bad idea? I feel like this. You got money to throw away. Shit, why not? I'm like, if you got a little bit of cheese to throw away, go ahead and play the lottery if that's what gets you going. I just choose not to gamble like that because I know my odds of winning are very slim. And I don't want to waste money like way. But I know a lot of people that choose to do it, Eden. So go ahead and go in and enjoy it, but just don't be spending your last little few dollars playing the lottery. Don't do it. Okay. If you got a little bit extra cash in your pocket and you're like, man, you know what? Life is good. You want to go spend $5, $20 here on a lottery ticket? Go and do it, my man. I can't tell you what not to do. I think that sounds absolutely fantastic. Go and do it, my man. But guys, let us jump into the show, man. Let us jump into the show and let us get to it right away, because I want to make sure that we end on time. We're going to start off with the layoffs. There's still layoffs going on, guys. There are still layoffs going on, and we're going to talk about this one right here first. Let's dive into it.
Some consumer news now for you this afternoon. More than 300 FedEx supply chain employees in Fort Worth are being laid off starting this summer. The company says one of its major customers is taking their business elsewhere, and so now they have to let go of more than half their workforce there in that area. FedEx is going to start laying off 305 employees come July. Now, the company tells us they've already notified those workers, and they're trying to place many of them in other roles with the company here in DFW. Some consumer...
You guys heard it. FedEx is laying off 300 people here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Single facility. And that's just part of the company doing some larger consolidations. And they're just talking about the DFW on this article. But guess what? It's going to be happening across the rest of the country as well, too, because if they can do it here because of one customer, they're going to do it in other places. So that's going to be over 600 people that are going to be gone in the Mid-South and in Texas. People without jobs. And there are people who have made YouTube videos explaining how they've worked for FedEx for 7 years, never, ever missed a day, never, ever, get called in late, always delivered their packages on time, always made sure that they were clocked in on time. And this is how they're rewarded. This is what happens when companies aren't doing good in an economy, but this is also what happens when you put all your eggs in a basket. in one single basket when it comes down to your career. This is what happens. These companies are not loyal, as my man Orlando Minor would say. They are not loyal. Now, in this situation, FedEx is trying to help some of their people to find another job in another area within the Dallas-Fort Worth area, okay? But you got to imagine over 300 people are being laid off. Are they going to find room for everybody? Absolutely not. So what are these people going to have to do? You're going to have to fill out the resumes, apply to other jobs, and they're going to be stuck. And if any of these people are living paycheck to paycheck, they're in financial stress right now. They're sad, they're heartbroken. They're saying, God, man, how do I get ahead? How do I get ahead? What should I be doing? Well, that's where I come in at. I come in because I can help you with making a career transition. I come in because I can help you with updating that resume. I come in because I can help you and tell you what career that you can do based on your existing skills that you have. That's what my coaching is for. So guys, make sure if you're part of the ones that's affected, if you know somebody who's affected, go ahead and lead them to our channel, www.bokheights.com. I'll tell you about an individual named Tony. Works for FedEx. 8-year veteran. Gone overnight. Why? Because it's easier to replace them with contractors. That's what's happening right now. And this is how companies are operating now. They're operating leaner. They're operating with cheaper. They're operating with outsourced work. It's not about loyalty anymore. It's about efficiency. So all you guys who are out there in your careers who are thinking, oh man, my company cares about me. My manager cares about me. I'm the man at my company. I've been working there for 14 years, 18 years, 17 years. And that's all you know. That's all you know, right? All you guys who are putting all your eggs in that basket, you're risking it. You are very much risking it because it's going to ultimately happen when businesses decide to make decisions because of their bottom line. It's going to be ugly for people, and it's already ugly for people. You heard about the Microsoft layoffs. You heard about the UPS layoffs. You heard about the Procter & Gamble layoffs. Procter & Gamble just laid off 7,000 guys. UPS, 20,000. Doge got rid of over 40,000 people. It's happening across the board. So if you're thinking that I'm safe because I'm good, my manager likes me, right? I do all my work. I answer every single phone call. I'm never late to work. I deliver my packages on time. I'm an A+ student. I'm an A+ worker. I got that bonus. I got that reward. Oh, I'm good. It can happen to you. It can happen to you. Being good isn't good enough at all. Being good isn't good enough if you're not cheap or automated either. So I'm going to give you guys a quick solution. I always want to remind you guys before I dive into the bigger parts of the stories here. I want to give you guys a solution. This is why I always come back to documenting your wins, guys. Documenting your wins. It's a way so that you can ensure that the work that you do is being valued first by yourself and you know what you are doing. You should be able to explain exactly what you're doing to anybody who's asking about it. You should be able to explain what you're doing to your manager. Your manager should know what you're doing. Your manager should know your wins that you're having because you're documenting it. You know what else you should be doing? Stay sharp on in-demand skills. So if you're in sales, you got to continue to read in the industry about the industry that you are in. If you are in project management, continue to get your project management certifications like my man Kamal. Continue to read up on the industry that you're in. Look at what is thriving right now in the business world. Look at what companies are hiring for right now. AI. You should stay sharp on in-demand skills. You should know how to use technology. You should know what is going on in the industry that you are in. Are you looking to get in? Keep your options open. It's a big one, guys. You got to keep your options open. Many of us get into the position where we're feeling like, oh man, our company has us. Oh, my boss like me. I'm invited to the picnic. I'm invited to this birthday party. He knows my kids' names. She knows my kids' names. You think that is all you need? You guys have seen all the videos that we played and the reactions of the videos of people in the same positions. Boss thought, or they thought that the boss liked them and loved them. They still got the phone call. Matter of fact, the boss wasn't the one that made the decision. Their boss wasn't the ones that made the decision. It was other leaders that made the decision, and they had to make it based on salaries. So make sure to keep your options open. You don't have to be out there broadcasting that you're open to work, but you want to ensure that your skills on the market is relevant, and that if somebody was to reach out to you in seeking your skill set, you at least are able to have a conversation with them. Don't just shut it down. I know what it's like to shut it down. I've shut it down many times. Loyal. I've only worked for 2 companies in my entire life. 3 companies, actually, now. 3 companies. I've been loyal each one. 10 years. 10 years for the first 2. And I moved to a new company in January of this year. My plan is to continue to be loyal. However, when there's phone calls and people are asking about my talents, oh, believe me, I'm having a conversation. And here's the reason why. Because layoffs aren't rare anymore. They're routine. They're routine. That's what's happening today. It is going to be a constant shift into, we are no longer in a period of, we're just going to hire. No, we're in a shift of, now companies are looking at how can we reduce and get leaner and do and operate a lot faster with the tools that we have. And those tools is AI. Those tools are AI. Those tools, machine learning. All of those tools help companies become efficient, help you to become efficient, help me to become efficient. So stay up to date. Make sure you document those wins. You gotta stay ready. Stay ready, as my boy PBO says. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I appreciate the $9.99 super chat. Brother Cam, he says, the American dream is evolving in real time. The days of working a middle-class job for 40 years and retiring is a thing of the past. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no more, I'm going to work for a company and work there for 20 years and retire. There's no more, I'm going to work for a company for 30 years and retire like our parents did, or our parents before parents did, our grandparents. That's no longer the case anymore. That's no longer the case. You think about companies like P&G. P&G just laid off 7,000 people, right? Most of the time when people go to P&G, they make a career out of it. They work for P&G for over 20 years, and the majority of them, if you hit the 20-year mark, you are a multimillionaire, right? No longer the case. They're laying off people. Big companies that typically say, I'm not going to lay it off and follow the market. No, they're laying off people. Jamalia says, I lost my job today. I need help. Yes, I need help. I mean, these are the conversations that we're having. These are the conversations I'm seeing on Reddit every single day, guys. So you got to stay ready to be ready. It sucks, Jamalia. That sucks to hear. That really, really sucks to hear. If you need my help, go ahead and look up our website, www.bokheights.com. Go ahead and reach out to me. Send me an email at antoine.wade@bokheights.com. We'll get you through. I'll make sure I pick up the call, and you'll be talking to me directly. You need help. The last thing you want to deal with is, oh man, like people are in panic. They don't know what to do after that. I'll tell them to take a quick, deep breath. You got to gather your thoughts. You got to understand what's going on. Don't take it personal, because the majority of the time it's not your fault. But it's important, guys, to follow the rules of engagement that I said. Document your wins. Stay sharp on on-demand skills. Keep your options open. Okay? Keep your options open. Trey Tibbs says, yeah, same, man. I lost my job back in February. Yep. See? It's happening. It's happening all across the board. Lil Ernest, there's no more company loyalty in 2025. It's best to job hop laterally as opposed to staying in one company for 20 years and thinking you're going to retire. It's true. It's true. With automation and AI, and I'm going to tell you like this, guys. I know it because I'm in that game. I'm in that space. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about how many jobs that we're removing whenever we sell a solution to a company. We talk about how they can increase efficiency and how they can repurpose the individuals to do other kind of work. Repurpose for other kinds of work means you're getting fired. That's what's going on. Repurpose for other kind of work means you're getting fired. That's exactly what's going on, guys. So hopefully you guys understand that. And hopefully you guys took a lesson from what I'm saying. And you really are taking that and understanding that you can't be loyal. These companies aren't loyal to you. You really have to look out for yourself. Start a side hustle. Find other ways to increase your income. Do it on the side while you're working, because that day will come where you will need it. We are in a different kind of economy right now. We're in a different kind of economy, and that economy is like this. It's here. It's online. It's you creating your own economy. It's you getting online and selling your value and your services that you already have developed. And you learning ones, new ones, and selling those as well. That's the economy that we're in right now. And if you're going to leave it to somebody else's hands and spend 10 years and thinking that you're the man or you're the lady and you're the boss, you might find out. You might F around and find out. What they call it, FAFO? And then you'll be in a bad situation. It's unfortunate. Many people I've taken calls with have F'd around and found out. So this type of a show is really to prevent that from happening, because you don't want that to happen. Okay? All right. Now, let's jump over to the chats real quick. IT Wizard says AI, AI, AI. Oh, did I mention AI? If you aren't on it, layoffs will come knocking. I'm telling you, you better be learning AI. You better be learning AI. And let's not even talk about just the AI piece of it, right? Because a good buddy of mine sent me a message the other day, because he sent it on Facebook Messenger, and he says he watched the show. He's a good buddy of mine, man. Mr. Hammersley, Bobby Hammersley. And I didn't know he watched my show. He's like, Antoine, man, I love your show, man. You got to talk about something. I'm like, what I got to talk about, Bobby? It's like, Antoine, man, I love the talks about the AI and the careers and all this other stuff. But you also got to let people know that these jobs that are out there are fake jobs. And it's like, man, I talk about these fake jobs. Companies are putting job postings out there and leaving them up for a very long time. Dozens of people applying for them. I mean, I said dozens. No, I mean hundreds of thousands of people are applying for these jobs. And all they're doing is collecting data. And they're trying to see exactly what people will take from a salary standpoint. And that's the new market value for that role. And then they're going to hire somebody who is young and youthful, and they pay them half the price that you're being paid at, that you would get paid at. So there's ghost jobs out there. There's companies that are shopping the market. They basically are doing auctions on humans. That's what's happening in the market right now, guys, whether you like it or not. So you got to be ready, and you got to stay ready before you need to be ready. All right? All right, so that's what I wanted to start off talking about. That's what I wanted to start off talking about. Omar says, this is the best channel in the world. I appreciate you, my man. My cousin Leon is in the house. Good to see you, my man. And Jamala, just like my boy PBL said in the chat, we're going to pray for you. I'll make sure that I pray for you tonight. I'll also be looking forward to an email from you to get us on the call. I'm the type of person like this, right? Obviously, when you go through such a situation like this, it's hard, but you need to talk to somebody. So send me an email. We'll get a call scheduled as soon as possible to have the conversation and figure out what your next steps are. Okay? But we'll pray for you tonight. We'll definitely do that. Guys, let's talk about something, man. We always talk about careers and all this other stuff. Let's talk about something that's happening a lot right now. I have a cousin who in the school district, and she sent this Facebook message and put it out there and said that she's, moving on after 19 years working at a school. I don't know if she was a teacher. I can't remember if she was in the teaching or she was in administration, but I believe she was in teaching, and she's going to another school. And then I came across this video on TikTok and multiple videos on TikTok. Well, my editors and my individuals who help me with my show comes across videos on TikTok and they share them with me. And I want to talk about something that hits deep, man. It's called the teacher crisis. Every week, I'm seeing another viral post from a teacher quitting. And it's not because they don't care, but it's because they can't survive doing it anymore. So that's what we're going to be talking about right now in this segment of the show. Let's get into it.
I want you to send this video to anybody who can't understand why teachers are crashing out and quitting.
I'm going to say it because it ain't enough people saying it. Some of y'all send them kids to school because you just need a break from their ass. But you don't worry about the hell that they're causing these teachers.
So I'm physically leaving education and not coming back because I physically can't do it no more.
That is what's going on, guys. Every week I see another video, a viral post from a teacher talking about their quitting. Not because they don't care. It is because they can't survive doing the work anymore. That's what it is. They can't survive doing the work anymore. One teacher says, I love my kids. I love my classroom, but I'm done being broke and stressed and unsupported. And that's the truth of a lot of educators and how they're living right now. So you're seeing now another career shift that's happening right now in education. All the people that we relied on, all the people that helped change our lives. I've had a number of teachers that helped change my life. My algebra teacher, Miss Bass, fantastic teacher. She was the one that told me that I was changing. I was in her Algebra 1 class and was a straight A student. In her Algebra 2 class, she said, Antoine, I don't know what's going on with you, but I can tell you this, whatever's going on with you, you better figure it out. You don't want to be like these other kids. You don't want to be like these other kids. You better figure it out. I remember that conversation to this day because she meant something to me. There's teachers that have impacted my life. Mr. Nelson, when I moved to Madison, Wisconsin, in his algebra class, I remember our conversations. It stuck with me. Teachers are important. But here's the issue. Why are they quitting? And that's a question we're about to find out right now. Check this out.
You honestly believe that these teachers are quitting their job 2 weeks into the school year because they're not getting paid enough or because the politics that they're dealing with from outside of the classroom is too much to handle? No, that's not the reason. The reason why they're quitting is because these kids are mean and they're making the classroom a war zone and they're getting zero support from parents at home and from admin on their campus. This 100% stems from the stuff that they have to deal with day in and day out from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. inside their classroom. It's the stuff that you have to deal with inside your classroom that makes you burn out and makes you never want to come back. I understand that so many of our kids are dealing with rough lives at home and are dealing with trauma, dealing with mental illness, dealing with learning disabilities. All of those things make it difficult to thrive in school, and I understand that. But the problem is that all of those things are no reason to treat other human beings like a piece of garbage.
You guys heard it. Teachers are being treated like garbage by your kids, by the people that you are responsible for because you aren't doing your job. I'm going to tell you like this, guys. This is a good one. This is a good one because no matter what career you have or how busy or how successful you think you are, whether you are a working dad or a working mom, you have to be involved with your kids. You have to be involved with your kids. Just like you said, some kids are in school from 8 to 3. And a lot of kids go to after school programs after that. And then they come home for dinner. And that's all the kids get from their parents. So it's no wonder that they're terrible. No wonder they're treating their teachers like crap. Parents have no time. That is why it's so important for you to find a career where you can make the money that you want to make, but also ensure that you can supply your kids with what they ultimately need, which is you. Now, I grew up in a household with my mom, right? My mom, single mom, she worked. She worked a lot. Sometimes she worked 12-hour days. But you know who we had at home? We had grandma at home. You know who we had at home? We had my uncle at home. When mom came home, she made sure that there was food on the table. She made sure that we had our homework done. And she made sure that we ain't got no BS. That's what she made sure of. This teacher is saying right now that these kids don't care. They don't care one bit at all. And it's because of the parents. And I also say this too, guys. I'm going to keep it 100. You know, I grew up in a household where my mom worked, right? She worked and she still works to this day. I never grew up in an environment, in a household where my mother didn't work. But my mom or my wife grew up in an environment where her mom didn't work. Her dad, worked for somebody, then he took over the business and owned the business, so her mom didn't have to work. If she would work, she would do, house cleaning and all this other stuff. So she was at home with the kids, making sure that everything was taken care of. She raised some fine kids. And my mom raised some fine kids as well. So there's multiple ways to do it. But I would tell you like this. There are benefits for both parents to work financially. There are benefits from it. But I will tell you also that if you can have one working and the other to stay at home with your kids in the pivotal years of their lives, they will make a greater impact on your kids. They will. And I know it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody because everybody can't do it. But I will tell you like this, if you can put yourself in a position to be able to do it, it would be fine. It would be a good reward. It would be a good reward. You won't have your teachers looking at you sideways about your kids. Your kids at home or your kids at school knocking other kids upside the head, flicking them with rubber bands, breaking pencils on them, being a bully. All this is going on in the classroom, and your teachers are like, you know what? I'm sick of these kids. And next thing you know, they call the house, you erase the voice message. Or they call your cell phone, you don't answer. Or they call your cell phone and you get an attitude. Why are you calling me for? This is your job. That's what's happening in school systems right now. That's what she is saying. Let's listen to her some more.
Regardless of your opinion of teachers, most teachers that I know wake up every single day excited to teach whatever lesson that they've spent hours planning and creating. And they want to have a meaningful experience with the students in their classroom. They want to have a good day. And I know, speaking for myself, I woke up every day praying that it was going to be a good day, praying that the kids that I had that day were going to be as excited about the content that I was ready to present as much as I was. And most days, that is not what I got met with. On the daily, teachers are getting cussed out, spit on, hit, flipped off. Their equipment is getting broken and stolen. There are bullies in class that are relentless, not just to their own fellow students, but to the adult in the room. Imagine if you had to deal with that at your job. I'm speaking to non-teachers right now, right? You would not put up with that. You would stay somewhere where you were treated with respect and you knew that you were safe in your work environment.
Just imagine, guys, I'm in sales, right? And I've been in situations where I've not liked my boss or my boss's boss, or then they came down on me. They came down on me hard, trying to be a bully in the workforce, right? Not doing it to be a bully, but just to show Antoine a lesson, to teach Antoine a lesson. You know how that feels. It sucks. It sucks when you're working with people that you don't like. But just imagine going to work every single day and you're spit on, you're threatened. They're going to beat you up. They pull your hair. That's disgusting. That's the behavior of kids these days because of parenting and the career choices that you guys make. That's the decisions. That's your fault. But nobody wants to put it back on the parents at all. Oh, they say, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Marcus ain't my problem. Marcus is your problem. Then Marcus gets blasted by somebody in the streets. And next thing you know, you're crying. Or Marcus gets beat up. He gets jumped. Next thing you're crying, or Marcus gets punched in the eye, or Shelly, right? Next thing you know, you're trying to make a big scene out of it and say somebody's beating up your kids when your kid was the bully. You don't know your kid. It's because you're working too much. You don't know your kid because you're not spending the time with them. You don't know what your kid is doing because you're not involved. You're selfish. You're caring about yourself.
If someone came every single day to your job, bullied you, hit you, cussed you out, rolled their eyes at you, treated you like you were nothing, like you were garbage, you wouldn't want to come back either. You would put in your 2 weeks notice. But for some reason, so many people believe that we signed up for that. Because that's a part of teaching, and that's just how kids are. I made the decision not to return to the classroom this year, and I haven't been in a classroom for months now, and I still have nightmares, trauma nightmares, on a weekly basis about my former classroom and my former students. And yes, it is a parent and an admin problem just as much as it is a kid problem. Because the difference between now and 20 years ago even is that 20 years ago, when you would have a kid cuss you out, hit you, smack other kids, ruin your property, steal things off of your desk, there was going to be somebody on campus that was going to back you up and find a solution. But now that's not the case. Suspensions are down because they want those numbers down. They want to look good. They're not suspending kids for getting in fights and being violent in the classroom anymore.
I remember this, guys. Getting in fights in school. You used to get suspended. Automatic suspension. I remember when I got in a fight at school. Even though my aunt she worked in the printer office, in the copy office, and it was right next to her office. I got in a fight. I got in a fight in 10th grade, this bully. He was a senior. And he was a friend, somewhat of a friend of ours. Right, but I remember sitting at the lunch table, just lunchtime, around my boys, my brother in there, my friends there. Everybody that we grew up on the block with was right there. And he came up, and, I had a nice little chocolate chip cookie, and I had a little carton of milk. That's what I used to have for lunch, right? Chocolate chip cookie and a carton of milk. I used to have my little banana and what else I was eating. But I loved my chocolate chip cookie and my chocolate milk because I had to pay for that. 50 cents for nice little 2 circle cookies and a little plastic shrink wrap, whatever you call it, right? So I was eating it. I took the little first bite. That's good. Eric comes over there, snatches the entire cookie, right? Opens it up, peels the wrapper off, and decides he wants to go to town on it. Looking at me. Then he picks up my milk, right? Picks up my milk, opens the carton up, and just looking at me. I'm over here just steaming, hot. All my friends around there laughing. And I'm just embarrassed, right? I'm embarrassed because this has never happened to me before. Plus I got this bigger senior who's being a bully, and the tension's all on me. I'm turning red, I'm hot, I'm sweating on my nose because that's what happens when I get hot and I get nervous. I have to be around 15, 16 years old at this point in time. So I'm like, I got to do something about this. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'll tell you like this, I have to do something about this because this guy literally just took my cookie, drank my milk, and he looked at me like, what are you going to do? He looked at me and just like, what are you going to do? Now, this happens all within like a matter of a minute or something like that, probably even less than a minute. But it seemed like it took forever because I'm the center of the jokes, right? And I'm thinking at the time, if I don't do anything, then everybody else is going to feel like they can take my cookie and drink my milk for the rest of their lives. That's how my young mind was thinking at that point in time. It wasn't go to right next door to my aunt and say, Auntie, come, Eric just took my cookie and drank my milk. Can I get another 50 cents? Or, Eric, why'd you do that, man? Why would you do something like that? I didn't know how to have a civil conversation at that time. So my civil conversations were used with these things, right? So I was like, okay, I'm embarrassed. My brother's right there. He's not doing anything, but he's looking at me like, oh man, you ain't gonna let this happen. Are you? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna have to step in, are you? So I get up and just act like I'm not gonna do anything. And I made a quick dash to the right, and I made a quick dash at him and looked at him, and I had to go to work. I went to work. It was pound town on Eric, and he was on the table laid out. And from that day on, nobody else bullied me, okay? You had to set an example, and he was the one who had to, set an example, and they said I was crazy and all this other stuff. But anyway, I got suspended. I got suspended, guys. I got suspended because we were fighting in school. And Eric got suspended for a week. I got suspended for only 2 days, okay? Because my aunt was, told the story and all this other stuff. But either way you get in the fight, you get suspended. But she's saying right now that you get in a fight in school these days, you no longer get suspended. You don't have people that are able to step in. You don't have people that don't want to step in because your kids are crazy. Your kids will beat them up. Your kids are bigger than them half of the time. I've seen those videos online where you see students fighting teachers. Usually the teachers getting their butt whipped, especially when you're in high school. You got these young big dudes and young big girls. They can go to town. And that's all they know because their minds do not know how to solve problems. They grow up in environments where all it is about fighting. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So being a teacher these days, I'm like, it's like a war zone for some of these teachers. It's like a war zone. And they don't have anybody that's there that's willing to step in and help out. So admin is like, all right, well, you know what? We're not going to suspend them because we just got to get them out of here. We just have to get them out of here. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with the parents because if I say something to the parents are going to want to fight me. And I don't want to have to deal with that either. So they're failing. They are failing. Let's continue on.
It's just not happening. Even in the early 2000s and 2010s when I started my career, I was assured that if I called a parent to tell them about what was going on in my classroom with their child, they were most definitely going to say, I am so sorry. Do what you need to do. I'll talk to them when they get home.
I want you to send this.
Last comment on that one. She said something that was really important. I remember growing up where I was afraid of my teacher calling my mom or anybody else in my household. I was afraid. And I think teachers knew that. I think teachers knew that because if a teacher was going to say something to your mom, you know that parent was going to correct the student and the child. Now it's at that point right now where teachers will say something and they're probably going to get lip service back. You're probably going to get lip service back. Oh, well, you shouldn't have been talking to her like that. What did you do? Well, teacher, I grew up in an environment where you respect the adult. That's not what's happening anymore. They don't respect adults anymore.
This video to anybody who can't understand why teachers are crashing out and quitting. I mean, they get their summers off, so what do they really have to complain about?
Listen to what she has to
I have
say.
brought visual aids. Here we go. So everything I show you on this green clipboard is going to represent when I started teaching in 2005, and everything on this red clipboard is 2025. I did not teach the full 20 years. I took 7 years off because I had children and my husband's in the military. We moved a lot. Here we go. These are actual seating charts that I found as I was cleaning out my desk today. So this represents the year 2005, and this is how many of my students are reading on grade level. Everything in blue. So I got 1.5 students out of a group are struggling readers, but pretty much everybody's reading at least on level, some even higher, okay? 2025. How many of my students are reading on grade level?
You guys see that? You guys see that? It's 11 students. That's about half. More than half of the students. No, only half of the students are reading at grade level. You guys see that? See that difference between 2005 and 2025? This is stunning. Let her continue.
Okay, this next is an average of how many of my students failed my class. They are going to have to repeat this. There's no recovering. They failed. This is 2005. 0.5 student out of all of my students. This is this year. This is this year. On average, I teach about 100 students. On average, this is how many students in each class are not passing. They're going to have to take this class again. Okay, next, the orange represents in 2005, parent involvement. I always had parents either in my inbox asking about lessons, volunteering for field trips, or anything that we needed for our classroom, volunteering supplies. 2005, 2025. Where are the parents that are supposed to be involved in their school? Behavior issues. Students in 2005 that I had to write up on referrals, call home, maybe have parent-teacher conferences for poor behavior. Out of a whole classroom, there was always at least one bad apple, okay? 2025. Put your cell phone away. Why are you showing up to my class 15 minutes late? Don't talk to me like that. Don't call them the N-word. If there's anything that being a teacher has taught me, it's analyzing data and trends. And I just don't like the current trends. So that is why you are seeing teachers leaving in a mass exodus. Teachers are not.
You guys heard her. You guys heard her. From the involvement to the behavior issues and all that. Guys, in 2005, she says there was one kid out of all of her students that was causing ruckus in her class. You would have that knucklehead. It typically is a dude. Knucklehead Johnny. Knucklehead Dontavius. Dot Keeper. Whatever the name was, right? You would always have one kid in the class that was a knucklehead. In 2025, you got 6 of them. Just imagine going to school and trying to learn when you got 6 knuckleheads. You're talking about that's one knucklehead to every 3 kids, right? When you have one knucklehead, it's already enough. It's already a distraction. You remember being in class with those knuckleheads, right? They always would do something. There's no telling that more than likely, they would do something to you, right? They would throw a piece of paper or fly an airplane or whatever it is. Laugh, make a joke in front of the teacher. Get everybody laughing, right? It's a big distraction. But now when you have 6, 7, 8 different knuckleheads doing the same thing, feeding off each other, how are kids able to learn these days? How are kids able to learn? They're not. Which is the reason why you guys got to make the money, man. It's about the money. I'll tell you like this. This is my opinion here. You make the money, you can pay for the private schools so that you have to deal with this. Now, I got to say, in private schools is where you're going to have the knucklehead. I look at the numbers, and when she showed me the private schools in 2025, or the schools in 2025, how they had one knucklehead in the classroom, that's typically what I see in a private school as well. You got one knucklehead. But what I would tell you is that everybody knows about that one knucklehead, and they're trying to get that one knucklehead out. But there's still going to be one knucklehead. That's just what life throws at you. But when you got 6, that's a parenting issue. That's a society issue. That's a community issue. And that's what's happening right now in these schools. So you're talking about a generation that's growing up right now that doesn't have any accountability, doesn't have any responsibility, have parents that's not engaged and involved in their lives, parents that don't want to go on the school trips and not want to help the teachers out. If you call them, they're going to curse you out. Society is about to look real ugly. And for you folks right now that aren't getting your skills up, and you folks right now that are breeding these kids, you're going to be struggling even harder, because these are going to be the kids that are seriously going to be sucking taxpayers' dollars and going to be on these social programs. You're creating these kids if you're not doing your job. If you're not doing your job, you are creating these kids. Kids that are going to be on welfare, kids that are going to be Section 8, kids that don't have any skills to enter the job force, kids that's going to beat up people when they're walking down the street, knockout game. Kids that's going to throw rocks and throw it off bridges and hurt somebody because it goes through their windshield. Kids that take crazy armor to school and do the crazy stuff. And you got parents. Matter of fact, a couple days ago, here in San Antonio, there was this kid who was plotting to do some damage to the school, right? Guess where he got the ammunition and armor from? Got it from his mom. His mom know that his kid was a threat, right? A threat to society, a threat to her, a threat to his classroom. His grandma found out that he had magazines, ammo magazines, right? He had shells. He had bullets. And she was like, where did you get access to them? My mom said if I did this, she would take me to the armor store. His grandma called the police, called the FBI. He had a book where he was going to cause damage to the school. Got him. Got her as well, too. This happened in San Antonio. Right down the street. These are the parents that's causing the chaos. And it's all races, guys. I'm a black man, right? And I'm seeing it across every single race. We're all going to do the same stuff. If you don't make the right career decisions, you're going to be in a bad situation. If you don't choose to live up to your responsibilities and raise your kids the right way and ensure that they're growing up the right way, these are the victims and the people that you're creating that's going to cause craziness in the United States. I'll tell you this, consider homeschool. Consider sending your kids to private school. And for the kids and the parents out there that can't handle these kids, send your kids to the military, where a male figure or a female figure has full authority over them. People that dress up and shape up and will take you out back and make you do push-ups and sit-ups till you throw up, jumping jacks. Consider that. Because they're not listening to you. I wonder what the end result's going to be. That's what I want to know. I want to get you guys' opinion. I know bad kids, and I know where they come from. They come from bad parents. I coached bad kids before. I've seen them. I've had a kid on the basketball court tell my son that your mama's dead. I've seen it. I've heard it. Like, where you get that from? If someone's like, what? Dad, you heard what he said to me? Didn't know what to say back. I'm like, oh, man, it's starting at the age of 6. Starting at the age of 6. Had to have a conversation with his mom. His dad wasn't there. Now his dad shows up to the games every single time. The kid behaves. The kid behaves. It's important, guys. It's important for you to make sure that you make the right decisions, not only for yourself, but for your kids as well, too. Let's continue on.
I just don't like the current trends. So that is why you are seeing teachers leaving like in a mass exodus.
Teachers are not underpaid. A lot of them just have this really weird complex where they think that they are owed a lot more than they are for the amount of work that they do. Have you ever been called the B word by a 10-year-old, Bethany? Better yet, have you ever been called a C word by a 10-year-old, Bethany? And then have to proceed to say, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way, friend. Have you ever been in a classroom with 25 students that have crippling ADHD, munching on Red 40 and Mountain Dew? Bethany? No? Okay. Have you ever been tackled? Have you ever been tackled by a 10-year-old, Bethany? Physically assaulted by a 10-year-old, Bethany? And then have to continue to show up and be kind and teach that 10-year-old every day for the rest of the school year? Bethany? Do you take 15,000 steps every day at your job because if you sit down, bad things happen? Bethany? Can you not go to the restroom at your work? Bethany? Do you only have 10 minutes for your lunch so you're starving most days? Bethany? Okay, I need to stop with the Bethany. I'm getting annoyed by it. It is so funny because I just know if that woman were to walk into my classroom, it would be game over in about 5 minutes. And I'm gonna stop myself so I don't get mean because that's not the point of this. And to be honest, if you do your teaching job as is, like you don't work outside contract hours, you don't do anything extra, you don't go above and beyond, you just take it for what it is, then maybe you have some legitimacy to your argument. But I don't know one single teacher that just does the job as is. The amount of extra work that we put in, amount of unpaid time that we work, just the emotional and physical toll that teaching takes. Yeah, we're extremely underpaid, Bethany.
And she's using the word Bethany too. She's using the word Bethany too. Look at her. Bethany's. Get your people. Get your people. Get your people, Teresa. It's easier than the word Bethany. Get your people. Like, these kids have no home training. IT Wizard says, if I acted up in school, I got spanked. Then I got lit up when I got home. Unfortunately, parents aren't demanding kids respect to those in authority figures. I agree. I remember, guys, back in the days where I grew up at, in Orangeburg in South Carolina, we used to get paddled. We used to get paddled. I'm talking about like intercom paddle. In elementary school, this was back in the 90s. So I graduated high school in 2001. So this was back in the 90s, early 90s, in the late 80s, okay? Early 90s, late 80s. In elementary school, we got paddled. I'm talking about, I had a principal named Mr. Neesmith. And if you did anything bad that would cause him to get involved, he would take you to his office. He would turn on the intercom because every class had an intercom system, right? And he would put you across his lap. He had this big old thick wooden paddle. And the paddle looked like, I'm trying to think, if you ever looked at a wooden ceiling fan, right? Those big old handles on the wooden ceiling fan. It was that long, right? Mr. Neesmith used to take it and he used to give you 3 chops across your butt. Ah! And you all used to hear people screaming on the other side. Ah! 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 Right? So what it basically did was it made you shape up because you didn't want to get your butt paddled. Now, I know some people may say, God, Antoine, you grew up in a ruthless environment. I would put it like this. The majority of the kids that came from out of that school, they had respect. They had manners. They did the right thing. Their parents didn't have to get involved. They said yes, ma'am. They said no, ma'am. Of course, you're going to have some knuckleheads later on. We used to say the Pledge of Allegiance in class. We used to say the Pledge of Allegiance in school. We used to also pray. All that stuff has been removed from the school now. But more importantly, the discipline aspect of it. You hearing somebody get their butt chopped up, boy, that would make you shape up. You talking about all the girls in the class, you would open the doors for them. You would be a nice gentleman. Girls, just imagine if you had a pick of guys because they were just all good, right? All had manners. Not just the guy who would just normally do it, because now you want to go for the bad boys. But if everybody was a good dude, we would have better families. Everybody was respectful. We would have better families. People would be intact. More families intact. All of that. Less divorce. All because of discipline. You do something wrong, you get your butt smacked. That's how a lot of countries have it as well, too. If you go to countries like Japan or Malaysia or any of that sort of stuff, you don't see kids with the discipline issues that we have because they still spank kids. I've seen a kid get smacked upside their head before by their parents at a restaurant. You won't see that today anymore. If you do see something like that in the United States, they're going to be calling the cops on that parent. That's what they're going to be doing. Oh, why you embarrass your kid like that? Shut up. My kid. People want to be involved. People are going to make you feel bad. It's backwards, guys. It is completely backwards. Brother Scotty says, hard head, make a soft butt. I'm telling you. Hard head, make a soft butt. TM says 2 incomes aren't good enough now. Kids are no longer affordable. They require a stay-at-home parent to mold them. That's right. Absolutely right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Ant Dog says class of 08 and in middle school, we had the paddle as well. I'm telling you, you get spanked. The paddles with the holes in it. I remember those too. TM says, I knew a boomer who was a high school science teacher who was able to afford 10 acres and a huge house, support her wife and 2 kids. Teachers today can't even afford rent. Of course. Of course. They don't pay them anything. You're going to find out from the next video how much teachers are being paid. Let's continue on.
Me, it's just honestly a weird take, because wouldn't you want to pay the people who are taking care of your children the most amount of money possible? The people who are pouring in and teaching your children how to be successful? Don't you think that's pretty valuable? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm weird for caring about children and caring about our future generation.
So I'm physically leaving education and not coming back because I physically can't do it no more. I can't. I actually start sweating. My heart starts flooding really fast with the thought of me having to decorate a classroom next year or even having to step foot in a school next year. And mark my words when I say this. So get this timestamp and look at this video. When I leave, I am never, ever coming back. I can't do it. I physically cannot be a teacher anymore. And I'm okay with that because I gave this profession everything that I did and everything that I wanted to give. And I am not going to be forced out of it anymore. I'm not going to be forced out of any career anymore. Job longevity has always been something that I preach. And I can't work in a profession that doesn't value my existence as a human being. I get that every day ain't gonna be peaches and rainbows. It's me, I'm about to tear up. But it's like, I'm a human. And education feels demoralizing. It does. I don't know how we do this, y'all, but I gotta go or I'm gonna be going somewhere in grippy socks. And that's not happening. So I'm done with this. We can wrap this up.
I'm gonna say it because it ain't enough people saying it. Some of y'all send them kids to school because you just need a break from their ass, but you don't worry about the hell that they're causing these teachers. You taught them kids how to cuss, twerk, and talk back, but you forgot to teach them how to sit down, shut up, and listen. Some of these kids know every TikTok dance there is, but don't know how to raise their hand before they speak. And then when the teacher reaches out to the parents to try to get some assistance for this mini menace, you got to issue and make every excuse in the book for why your child is acting up. That's not ADHD, ma'am. That's ain't no damn training. I seen a motherfucking kid tell a teacher, my mama said you can't tell me what to do. She can't tell you what to do, and that's the fucking problem. Can you imagine being a teacher and before you can even teach academics, you got to teach basic manners to these unruly ass children, and then you have to deal with a parent who gets offensive about you telling them about their child. Ma'am, your daughter is not expressive. She's just disrespectful, okay? So please, just try to give a little bit more consideration to these teachers and support them when they need it. Remember that these are your kids, not theirs. So for them to make it their job to try to teach your child some shit, should not have to go through none of the bullshit. Me personally, I couldn't be nobody's teacher because one, I don't have to, and I'm flipping the fucking before they can finish their sentence. You sure the fuck don't have to, and I don't either.
Boy, she said a mouthful. She said a mouthful, man. Unruly kids. You teaching your kids how to twerk, how to do all the TikTok dance. Yay, yay. You're not teaching them respect. You're not teaching them respect. You're not teaching them to obey authority. IT Wizard says bad parents equals bad kids. It's that simple. We know who's doing their job as parents. And you know what? We congratulate them. It's nothing like when you're congratulated from the work that you do as a parent, when your teachers come back and say, I want AJ in my class. I want Ari in my class. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Wade, for the work that you do. You make our lives so much easier. It's nothing like that. It feels good. When your kid's being coached and your coach loves your kid because he's a good kid. When your kids aren't loved in the classroom, teachers don't like them. When your kids aren't loved on the field or in practice, it's because the coach don't like them. And it's more than likely because of the parents. IT Wizard said it right. Bad kids equals bad parents equals bad kids. Bad kids equals bad parents. I say it like this. The apple don't fall far from the tree. We know what's going on in the household a lot of the times by how your kid is acting up. Your kid's acting up in the classroom. We know something ain't going on. You can drive around town all you want in that Tesla Cybertruck, in that Mercedes, in that Range Rover. We know what's going on at the house. There's no love. You don't have the time. You're stressed out. Your hair is getting thin. Your edges are getting bald. You're missing spots in your hair. You can't hold your husband's hand. Your husband don't want to hold your hand. You can't stand to look at him. We know what's going on. Nobody tells you, but we know. Parents, coaches, all of them know. Eyes all crazy, bugged out, always looking like you're tired. We know what's going on. You don't have time. You're working too hard. You don't like what you're doing. You don't like your life. You're miserable. When you are miserable, you produce a miserable house. You produce miserable kids. That's what we know.
I did the literal fucking math after taxes, how much I make hourly. I did the math, how much I make hourly as a substitute teacher after taxes. Are you ready? Each day, I make $8.70 per hour after taxes. $8. I make $1 over minimum wage.
Now that I am no longer a teacher, thank God, I can finally say the things that have been on my mind all school year. Okay? As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, we should all be scared. Every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read. They cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be taught to them. Well, I won't even say taught. They expect everything to be given to them. So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. So they would have some type of assignment where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all. Every assignment that I gave them, I kid y'all not, every assignment that I gave them, there was several students that came to my desk and asked me to walk them through the entire assignment, the whole thing. But genuinely, the truth of the matter is everybody is failing these kids. Everybody. The school board with all these different rules, they're failing these kids. The principals or admin altogether, they're failing these kids, and they're failing the teachers because they're basically telling us that we had to just pass a child along just to keep these graduation numbers up.
I want you to...
You guys heard it. They're all being failed. They're all being failed because here's the thing. It's all about the numbers, right? You can't have so many XYZ kids going through the system and failing because you want to make your numbers look good. You want to have passing tests. You want to have passing grades. You get rewarded for the number of kids that you have graduate and literacy rates and all this other stuff. A lot of these schools don't deserve funding because they're not doing their job. They're not allowing other people to do their job. I'm telling you guys, homeschool, private school, making the money that you need to make in order for you to send your kids and then to be protected is very, very much important. And it's going to continue to be so much more important. You're going to have to get rid of the other side. And that's the crazier part about it. And that's why I want you guys to comment on this video. Like, what should be done to the kids that's being left behind because of the bad parenting? As my boy Damien says, when he was growing up, what he says here in this comment, He says, where I'm from, we say them kids don't have home training, right? Those kids don't have home training. What do we do with the kids that don't have the home training? I don't want to personally deal with them. I will tell you like this. I'm sorry. I'm just not the type of person that needs to deal with that. My life is already busy. I care about myself, care about my family. Okay? I don't want to deal with them. There's somebody that should be dealing with these kids. There's a profession that needs to be dealing with these kids. But what should we do with the society of these kids? There was a rule, no kids left behind. But I think that's a bad rule. A kid needs to be left behind based on the decisions that their parents. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm too hard about this. I don't know. TM says TikTok raises the kids. Absolutely. Operator Tech Takeover says everybody at the PTA meeting talking about Kiki. And TM says, and today the phone raised the kids. Rolly says it's upsetting that teachers are paid minimum wage. She said she didn't have a cell phone until her second year of med school. Guys, that's what's happening right now. I wanted to share that with you because it's important. One, the career decisions that you go into and the career decisions that you make. And I know, so my niece's boyfriend, he went to school for education. He went to school for mathematics and education, right? And he's going to be in the Denver public schools next year as a teacher. And that's good for him. I think teachers are great, and I think they mean well. It's just the environments that they're put in. Every single day, the environments that they're put in. And it's tough. And then we already know in the United States, when you don't value something, you don't pay for it. Right? When you don't value education, it shows in how teachers are being paid. So if your teachers aren't being paid very well, it shows that we don't value education here. And it's a broken system. That's the reason why charter schools, school choice, all that sort of stuff is being created. So that there's opportunities for you to send your kids and pay teachers more, but send your kids to a school where they can get the education. You should be able to write 5 sentences based on a topic that your teacher gives you. And you should be able to think on your feet. That's what school is about. That's why we go to school. We go to school to learn how to learn. There's many days where I had to stay up all night, pulling an all-nighter to know something about a subject because I was going to be tested on it the next day. And I didn't need a book and I didn't need a calculator. I didn't need any of that other stuff. So I had to stay up all night. That's what teaching does. That's what school does. It teaches you how to learn. It teaches you how to learn. So if I need to figure out how to change my oil, I can go and do it because I can get on YouTube or read a book and I will know how to change the oil in my car. And I will be able to write about it. That's how you learn. You learn by learning how to learn. You go to school to learn how to learn. That's not what's happening right now. Kids are going to school and they can't do the basics. So what is that going to leave society like, especially here in the U.S.? I see these kind of people being taken advantage of. That's why this influence economy is going to continue to boom. Because they're going to, if they're growing up off TikTok right now on their cell phones, their minds are going to be very fragile. They can't think for themselves. They're going to make quick decisions. It's always going to be about making a quick buck. So they're going to be scammed often. It's almost like social media is going to become an economy. And it already has become an economy, to be honest with you, where it's like a check cashing place that's put into a hood, right? Where people get their paychecks and they go directly to the check cashing place. That's what the gig economy is going to be like. And that's what it's like right now. People get their paychecks from their little bit of work and they go and spend it on scams. And they can do it online because now they think they know somebody. Now they think that what somebody says is going to allow for them to make $1 million. Trading and all this other stuff. That's what's happening, guys. That's what's happening in the teachers' world. I wanted to share that with you because it's important about not only your career, but you as a parent. And if you think you're successful, what shows that you are more successful is the offspring that you create. Okay? All right. Let's move on. I got one more for you guys. I was long-winded on that one. I didn't mean to go that long. We got one more. Guys, you're making a little bit of money now, right? We're making a little bit of money. We're growing up. Or you may just be ready to come into some money. People are deciding that they want to spend their money on car payments. So right now there's a car payment crisis. Let's listen to this one.
Did you pay $104,000 for this?
What do you think a reasonable monthly payment is for a newer vehicle?
I want to talk about the normalization of these insane car prices.
My front and my back brakes are also going out. Front brakes $3,500, $11.40. Back brakes $2,500, $13.96.
That's what's happening right now, guys. Let me hit you guys with a quick stat. Car payments in 2025 are averaging $750 to $1,200 a month. That's how much people are paying on car payments. And some people are paying more for their cars. And they're paying more than their actual rent. That's what's happening in 2025. Can you believe that? Listen to this other lady give you guys a story on $1,800 car payments.
Lady coming to dealership. She wanted to trade her fairly new Range Rover Sport autobiography. And I asked her why she wanted to trade it because it was so new. And she was like, I need to lower my payments. And I asked her, how long have you had it? And she said, I've had it for about a year and a half. I said, okay. And what kind of car are you hoping to get into? She said, I want to look at a GLE 53 coupe. I said, you're not going to lower your payments on a GLE 53 coupe. Oh, how much are they? Oh, new, they start at around $100. And she was like, oh, well, I'm looking for a pre-owned one. I said, okay. I said, a pre-owned Mercedes GLE coupe is in more demand than a new one. And the least expensive one, current body style, 21 or newer, is going to be around the low 60s. How much are you trying to lower your payment? I need to get my payments around 800. Well, you barking up the wrong tree, sister. You need to be looking at a C-Class. And, you know, she looked kind of devastated, like, clutching her pearls. Like, you know, this is the deal. You built your life on the most money a month you made as opposed to the least amount. Now, that straight commission real estate job, the bottom done fell out of it. But your bills didn't go down when your finances went down, right? So you're gonna have to swallow your pride. Or, you know, if your image means that much to you, then suck it up and pay the $1,800 a month you paying now. But trying to uphold the image while having sleepless nights because you can't pay your bill, that don't make no sense. Baby, I'd be driving whatever could get me out of it and get my payments lowered, is what I would be doing.
Tell me this, guys. Any realtors in here? Any realtors? Anybody who's watching right now sell real estate? How come realtors always have the best looking cars? We know how much you guys make. I know realtors around town here in New Braunfels drive Mercedes, drive BMWs, X5 coupes or X5s. What do you call I want to say AMG, but BMW doesn't do AMG. That's Mercedes. Whatever their BMW one is, right? I know realtors that drive Teslas. How come realtors are always the ones who has the nice cars. We know how much you make. The real estate market isn't doing too good. It's not doing too good. And we know how much you guys make. How come realtors are always the ones, real estate agents, always the ones with the newest cars? We know you're not rich. We know it. Many of you are broke because everybody wants to get into the field. And it's a commission-driven job. Another career that I also noticed that they have very, very nice cars are lawyers. Lawyers are other ones that they always have nice cars. And we also know that you don't make a lot of money early on as well, too, unless you're on your own firm. But how come it's realtors and lawyers that has the nice cars? Will you be paying $1,800 a month for a car payment? That is almost what my mortgage is on my primary home. That's expensive for a brand new car just to uphold an image. Just to uphold an image. I watched the show Selling Sunset, right? It's interesting because, you know, real estate is sales, and I love sales. And I know you can make a lot of money in sales. And these ladies are in, you know, LA and Beverly Hills and so forth. It's a great show. I love Selling Sunset. It shows the dynamic and the cattiness of all the women going on, but it also shows the commissions. And these ladies are in nice cars because they are making, on a typical house, you're talking about $80,000 for a commission. You're talking about $100,000 and $300,000 for a commission. So I see how they can afford a nice G63 AMG. I can see it. But for you realtors that are driving around town in St. Louis, for you realtors that are driving around town in New Braunfels, in Austin, we know how much money you guys make. It's not a lot. You have to sell very, very luxury homes in order for you to make the kind of money to be driving around in an $1,800 car payment. Car payments are a quick way to become broke, man. And I know it's hard. It's hard not to, because, you know, cars that look so good, and I'm a big fan of cars. I'll tell you like this, but I got 3 right now that I completely paid off. My Tundra, I know there's times where I want to trade it in, get myself a nice little GMC Denali. I don't need it. I remind myself every single day I get into my nice Tundra that I don't need it paid off, or I don't need it. I don't need a new car payment. It's already paid off. 126,000 miles on it. Taking it to Wisconsin. Drive that truck everywhere. I'm going to drive it until the wheels fall off, literally. No, don't do a car payment if you don't need to. There's no reason to be paying $1,800 a month on a car unless you are a business owner and you have the money like that. If you are a business owner and you're making money and you're just making crazy money, you can afford that. Why not? I can see it then. But I will tell you like this, guys, don't go and spend your hard-earned money on a $1,800 car payment. That's crazy. Listen to this next lady.
That is not the flex that you think it is. It is draining us. It is taking things away from my children. It is making it to where we cannot afford a house. So how did we get here? We bought this car used a couple of years ago, and we currently owe double than what it's worth. We had to take a personal loan out last November to afford to buy our kids Christmas. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So $800 a month on a car that's not even worth what we're paying on. And I understand that's how personal loans work, but it's a really big financial issue in our family right now. So for the next couple of weeks, I am going to be posting every day, trying to grow, trying to get into the creator fund so that I can afford to pay off our car.
and I will put the loan amount.
Oh no,
This lady said they had to finance her kids' Christmas. God dang. Wow.
God damn.
She had to take a personal loan out to finance her kids' Christmas because they have an $800 car payment. They don't even have a house, but they have an $800 car payment. Operation Tech Takeover says, if it is more than a fourth of your income, you can't afford it. Agreed. TM says, commissions are dried up as bones now. Yes, for realtors, absolutely. Rolly says, I once had a real estate job. They wanted me to sell houses in Florida while living in New York. I couldn't sell a single house. It's hard out here. NC Realtor says the reason why real estate agents always have the nice cars, they want to keep an image. And then not making that commission in North Carolina. Life of Cam says, looking rich and being rich is not the same. We know. Brother Damien says you can get a nice Honda scooter for about $4,500. That's something else, guys. You don't need a car like that. You can get a scooter. There's other means that you can transport. Get to place A to place B. You know, in different countries, they ride mopeds. Why not get yourself a nice little moped? I know it isn't cool. I mean, you think about the systems that we have in the United States. We don't have high-speed rail and all this other stuff. And, you know, place that get you to small city. Everything is built on the interstates, right? So you got to have some form of car. However, the prices of cars are through the roof. You're talking about even used cars. But you can get yourself a $4,500. I don't know if you can find a $4,500 car anymore, but you can find a $4,500 scooter. You can find an electric bike. You can find a moped. You can do it. That'll get you to point A to point B until you can actually afford it. I mean, with families juggling student loans, rent increases, food inflation, and now they're drowning in auto debt. That's a lot, guys. Check out this lady.
I just feel like a $500 plus car note is absurd. But also walking, not having a car and not having transportation is even more absurd. So like, what do we do in this economy? Because you need a car, there's no way around it. Everybody can't go to a car place or dealership and just drop down cash. And I'm not even sure that's something that you should or would need to do. How much are y'all paying for these car notes? Like, how much are y'all spending on car notes plus car insurance? Because it's honestly getting even more ridiculous. But I low-key can't even be mad at people for paying that much money, because what do? You need a vehicle. People who don't have a car will tell you just how annoying and how hard it is not having transportation, not having a vehicle that you can just count on to have 24/7, or even having a reliable vehicle. Having a vehicle that's not reliable, that's always breaking down and causing you problems, is just as worse as not having a vehicle. So what do you do if you need reliable transportation?
She has a point. Vehicle reliability is important. I got 2 other cars if you guys want to buy them. Got a Mercedes E63. Sits in my backyard. I got a Hyundai Equus. I'll sell it to you. They ain't going to be cheap. But she's right. What do you do when you don't have reliable cars? I can't imagine driving and not knowing if my car is going to get me to work or get me from place A to place B. And having to worry about it. Driving, and next thing you know, the windshield wipers don't work. Next thing you know, the lights go out. Things start flickering. Engine lights on the car. I can't stand when the engine lights on my car. I can't stand when it says oil maintenance is required. I have that right now in my wife's car. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I hate this. I'm going to take it to the oil place around the corner just to get that light removed. And I know how to reset it myself. But it needs an oil change. Even if it's over 5 miles over, it needs an oil change. But I'm going to tell you like this. You got to have reliable cars. And it's tough to buy a car right now being used because they're so expensive. You got to make the money, guys. That's why your careers are more important than anything. The decisions that you make from the education perspective, the careers that you go into, the people that you marry, all are important. The decisions that you make, they all are important. Get yourself into a financial situation where, you know, you're making a good little bit of money, then you want to go out there and spend the money on a car. Then the real estate market bottoms out. Now you got an $1,800 payment. You're trying to get into another nice car like the lady did. And she can't afford it. She can't afford it. That's an uneducated decision. That's a decision of trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you're going to find yourself broke. The majority of people don't build wealth in the United States because they have a car payment. And it's crazy. It is insane. Listen to this next one.
I can't be taken serious at this moment, y'all, before I start crying. So, just got my battery done, right? My front and my back brakes are also going out. Front brakes, $3,500, $11.40. Back brakes, $2,500, $13.96. I could have those backwards. All in all, $5,500. I want to rip this up. So I guess I won't be going anywhere that requires me to use my brakes. Come on, baby. See ya. See ya.
See that car. What kind of whip is that? What kind of car is that? That has to be a BMW.
Just get in. Just get in. Just get in. Y'all, they playing today.
What do you think a reasonable monthly payment is for a newer vehicle? I'm not talking about you go down the street and go to the dealership. That's a mom and pop shop. No offense to the mom and pop shops. But I mean a newer vehicle, lower miles, under 40,000 miles, newer 2021 and above. What do you think a reasonable monthly payment is? A lot of people be like, oh, this is too high. Oh, wow. I want to see what you think a reasonable monthly payment is. I got the number in my head. What number is for you? What do you think a reasonable monthly payment is for a newer vehicle? I'm not talking about you.
I want to talk about the normalization of these insane car prices that we are seeing in the modern era. And every time I talk about finances, or I do sort of a breakdown to help people understand just like why they're feeling so stressed and strapped, there's always somebody that's like, well, why do you even have a car payment? Why don't you go buy an $800 car? They don't really exist anymore. And if you found one, congratulations, but that's not a real thing. Or why don't you just save up $10,000 and just buy a car? How are you supposed to get back and forth to work, considering all of the variables that would make that difficult while you're saving to go buy a car outright? These videos that people are posting, and I'm going to go ahead and start one, these videos that are normalizing these insane car prices and then car payments. People, when your car is paid off, drive it until it burns into the ground.
Here's a very good point. Drive it until the car breaks down. He's absolutely right. And I'm doing it with my Tundra. I'm telling you that right now. Mercedes as well, and my Aquas. And my wife's car. We got a car payment on that one. We definitely do. But that one will be paid off soon too, though. No need for a new one.
Right? People want to feel nice. They want to have nice things. And they already feel so pressed and they feel so destroyed in this economy that I understand the desire to want to go have something nice. But spending what is clearly a third of your paycheck on a car note is not the way to do it. And these videos are trying to normalize these insane car prices. Now, I want you to look at this sheet, okay? This sort of demonstrates why car payments, even for like an entry-level car, like why car...
Let's go back to that. I want to go back to that. Look at that, guys. Loan amount, $15,000. Monthly car payment, $246. $40,000, $656. Cars right now, especially the nice ones, over $100,000. Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. We went to Miami. I think it was it last summer or the summer before last? And I got an opportunity to rent a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Oh man, this thing was nice. I'm talking about it had everything in it. One of the nicest trucks I've ever seen. One of the nicest trucks I've ever ridden in. But the price of that car was $140,000. Just imagine how much that car would cost. Over $2,000 a month, just about. over $2,000 a month for a $140,000 car. Now, when you see these kinds of videos, you see that everybody's spending over $800 for a car payment. So they are trying to normalize this. Go the other way, guys. You know how I told when I started the show, I said, I'm in that mode right now in life where everybody's going one way, I'm going the opposite way. So if everybody's trying to normalize the whole, your car payments are $800 and more, because the average, based on the statistics that I read, was $750 to $1,200 a month is the average car payment. If everybody's trying to normalize that to say, okay, you know what, your car payments on average are going to be about $800 a month to $1,200 a month, that's normal, and that's what everybody's buying into, I'm not doing it. Neither should you. That's why we're the ladder climbers. We don't fall into that crap. You're trying to normalize it so that you can go out there and spend your money. My brother Scott says, our brother Takeover says, I always buy old things. Using an iPhone 12 now, drive a 2010 Honda, paid for cash. He also says the dealer sends me emails all the time trying to buy my 2019 back. I ain't going for it. You're not going to trick me into one of these high payment cars. My little Acura staying right here. Absolutely. An Acura, you can drive that till your wheels fall off as well too. Your car is only 5 years old. Those things last and hold its value, especially if you got yourself a nice little TL or whatever you have. I love Acuras. They're Hondas. Hondas, you can ride them till the wheels fall off. Same thing for Toyotas. That's why my little Tundra, we just breaking it in at 126. Lexus, just breaking it in at 100,000 miles. Keep those things, guys. Don't go out there and spend money on a car trying to look good for everybody else. No reason to do that. Let's continue on. He was getting ready to get into something.
Why car payments, even for like an entry-level car, like why car payments are already so insane. The average price of an out-the-door car in this country is almost $50,000, right? After all of the dealer shenanigans that go on, the out-the-door price on a car is pushing 50 grand. Entry-level cars are $30,000. And these dealerships are trying to normalize you coming in there and going like, hey, don't get the one that's already hard to afford. Get the one that makes you feel like a superstar. And these videos always have somebody in it that like has their car outright, or they have somebody that has like a legacy car note from 7 or 8 years ago that's paying $300 or $400 in it. But these people that have $450, $500, $600 car notes, those are entry-level car loans in today's economy. These people that are trying to normalize these $1,000 and $1,500 car payments to make you feel better about getting a car that's that expensive, please stop letting these dealerships normalize this stuff. And if you can go get a used car, if you can make other arrangements, but more importantly, if you can just, once your car is paid off, don't fall into the trap of like, well, now what if it breaks down? Yeah, if it does, and you got to pay $600 for repair, that's better than paying $600 to $1,000 a month for a car loan that you already can't afford.
Here's a good point. So going back to the lady who said her brakes would cost over $5,000. You got to find a Hector. You got to find a Jorge. You got to find a Jesse. I got some guys around the corner. So I have a older E63, a 2019 E63 Classic, right? Bubble eyes and everything. And I took my car to the dealership to, have some work done. And they wanted to charge me $11,000. Combination of the brake job, fuse system cleanup, all that sort of stuff, right? So I had them do some of the work. But more importantly, I had them quote what the work was going to be. And I took it to my guy, Jesse, around the corner. He got the brakes done for me. Brakes would have cost $3,700. Hector got them for me, $700. And installed. Got them done. Brake pads, right from the AutoZone around the corner. I went there to buy the parts. And he installed them for me. And all I paid him was around $800 with tip. You got to have somebody who can work on your cars as well, too. Especially going to afford some of these expensive luxury cars. Because you take it to the dealership, they're going to get you. And then you read all the stories about, okay, you go to the dealership, get your oil change, and they don't really replace the oil. Oil filter the same. Then you read online and they say, oh, that's the known trick at some of these dealerships. They say they're going to replace your oil, but they don't do any of the work. Have you riding around in with old oil in your car after you already paid for it? These are the kind of things that goes on, guys. And more importantly, don't go out there spending money on a car when you can't afford it. Because they're trying to normalize this. Next thing you know, they're going to be saying $1,500 car payments are the norm. And then next thing you know, you're going to buy into it and say, oh, well, everybody else got a $1,500 car payment. It's okay. You remember how they try to normalize student loans? Oh, you're going to have student loans for the rest of your life. No, you're not if you pay them off. Go to college. You having student loans is not a big deal. Everybody has student loans for the rest of their life. No, that was a lie. That was a lie that they try to tell you. So you feel like you can go to school and next you know, you can go and party and spend time in school and don't really matter because you're going to have a student loan payment for the rest of your life. And you can think you can afford it because the economy is going to be good because you don't have that future thought and you haven't experienced what economies look like and when they expand and they contract. So you go out there and spend 7 years in college. Next thing you know, you have $100,000 in student loans, all with a art history degree, all with the anthropology degree, all with some sort of liberal studies. And you get out and next you know, you have $100,000 in student loan debt, but you got a job that's paying you $37 a year. Then you might get into some sort of coaching. You may be making 60, but that's the max that you're going to make. Then you're upset, you're mad. And you see your boy Damien, your boy Kamal driving around in a nice Buick. New Toyotas, new Lexuses, and you're like, God damn, I got to get one of those. So you say, you know what? I'm going to get myself a new Mercedes. The stun on my boys. Then you making $60,000 and you have an $1,800 car payment. You broke. We know you're broke. You're broke. We know you're broke. Now you've been gamed. You've been scammed because you decided that you wanted to follow what everybody else was doing. You guys know what you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They also did it for the house as well too. Oh, everybody can afford a $400,000 house. Everybody can afford a $400,000 house. That's the normal price of a house now, right? So you go out there and try to stretch your funds. Oh, I got to get something at least $400,000. Or you know how they do it when you go and get ready to sign for the house. They want to give you pre-approved for your loan amount. And they always try to get you to get to that max amount. You're getting got. You can't afford that. Go the opposite direction, guys. Let's this man continue on.
Imagine being able to put away that $600 every single month instead. Please stop letting these dealerships normalize you coming in there and walking out with $1,000 car payment in this economy.
Would you pay $104,000 for this?
The 2025 Yukon Denali XL.
It has a starting price of $83,500, but then it has multiple add-ons which come out to a total of $14,430. Then you have a destination fee of $1,995. You do get a $750 discount, which brings the total MSRP to $99,175. But this dealership in particular has more add-ons that they have added, which comes out to a total of $103,962. Of course, it is the Denali, so you have a lot of features. You've got the power mirrors, you've got the power running boards, you've got the 24-inch alloy wheels. Of course, it is the XL, so you do have the extended size.
Ooh, that thing look nice, don't it? Well, especially you are a mom and you got like 4 kids. You don't want a minivan? You better tell your husband to get online and start making some online money. You better tell your husband to go and climb that corporate ladder to afford a $103,000 truck like this. You better do it. A Denali Yukon XL. That thing clean, ain't it? Oof.
It's 4-wheel drive and it comes in this Summit white color. What do you guys think? Do you think
the double dual exhaust on the back?
that this GMC Yukon Denali XL 4-wheel drive is worth $104,000?
I want to give you guys a realistic example of what payments look like on a $75,000 car. So in this case, we're gonna use this M8 competition that I have in stock. This car is damn near exactly $75,000. Crazy thing is I have an S-Class that's right next to it. This car is probably in the same range too. You guys peep the 5.0 over there. Now keep in mind, when you borrow $50,000, that means your payment's gonna be in the ballpark of $1,000. Now this car is $75,000. Let's see what the payment looks like. So we have everything plugged in, $75,000 car financing.
Check this out. $70,000 auto price, term 72 months. Interest rate 6.5. Sales tax 6.3. Title registration 2,000.
For 72 months, 6.5% rate paid off early if you want. No money out of pocket. Your total payment amounts to $1,377 a month.
$1,377 a month, guys. Are you willing to spend that amount of money on a car payment? $1,377 a month. That is a more. I'm gonna tell you like this. That is more than I'm paying on 2 of my rental properties on a monthly basis. Can you guys believe that? That is the max. That is what one of my houses, my house mortgages for my primary, not my primary home, but the best rental property that I have in my portfolio. That's around the mortgage price. And it's a duplex too, by the way. That's how much these car payments are. And you guys are willing to spend that amount of money on cars. $75,000. $75,000. $1,300 car payment. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
With no money down.
Let me know if I'm off base here. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the comment section, but also in the chat as well too. Ant Dog says Sequoia, the best truck out there, not even close, no cap. I would tell you like this, man. Ant Dog, you ain't lying. Those Sequoias are bad, man. I mean, like, those things are clean. I am a big fan of the Toyota Sequoias. Finally, they made a truck that looks fantastic. Easy Worker says, that's all not including if you have bad credit. Oh, you're right. Because you got bad credit, you already know those interest rates are going to be up. Good point. Very, very good point, Easy Worker. Alberta text over says, yep, clean right there on the lot. How about I give you $100 and you let me drive it around for a few. Oh, Brother Scott says he's not going to, he'll borrow it. He'll rent it from you. Oh, man. K Francis says Yukons looks like a hearse. You know, those XLs, they're nice, man. They are nice. You ever driven around in those and order one of those Uber Blacks? And they had a Denali. Oh, those things are clean right there. Easy Worker says, yeah, clean your wallet. You Jim says, may as well live in Denali then. Same price as a house. You're absolutely right. It is the same price as a house. $103,000. You're absolutely right. You can find houses still on the market today for that amount of money. It's insane. It's ridiculous. Life of Cam says, so glad I went to WGA. I paid $1,000 a month for 4 months. Only got my master's. No student loans needed, and anyone can do the same. You're absolutely right. You want education? Go the cheap route. I even say this, go to community college. If you want an on-campus experience, first go to community college, then go to your other school. Save some money. That's the right way to do it. That's the right way to do it. But guys, my whole point of this show today was really to explain this, man. We got families juggling student loans, rent increases, food inflation, and now they're drowning in auto debt. And the result is because of bad advice, poor credit traps, and chasing status instead of basically sustainability. All what America is all about. I'm not saying don't go out here and drive a nice car. What I'm saying is that don't let a car note cost you your future. And if you're in a red every single month, you need to downsize, refinance, sell it, get rid of it. And if you're just now thinking about buying, ask, what's the minimum I need to drive safely while I am building wealth for me and my family? You don't need a brand new car. You can still find cars for the cheap. You can still find cars for the cheap. Now, my question for you guys Anyone in here driving something paid off? Raise a hand. Yeah, I got 3 of them paid off, y'all. Working on getting another one. That's all we have. We got 4 cars in my household. All we do is drive 2 for the most part. But if you're driving something that's paid off, great. Continue to drive it. Continue to drive it. At the end of the day, guys, this segment, this show is really about layoffs, people burning out, teachers burning out, getting fed up because of the decisions that some of you are making and not holding your kids responsible. Also about consumer debt. It's through the roof. We're seeing a system that is stretched and broken. And if you're not preparing, it's going to potentially crush you. But if you are preparing, you are building skills right now. You are creating new income streams. You are learning how to protect yourself financially. And here's the best thing about all that. You're going to come out even stronger. You're going to come out even stronger, especially when the times get real tough. And this is the time to be doing it. Don't coast. Don't ignore the signs. The time to pivot, protect, and position yourself is now. Don't wait around for something bad to happen. If you need my help for anything, guys, go ahead and book a coaching session with me, www.blkheights.com. If you need my help, send me an email. You guys got my email. But also, more importantly, make sure you subscribe, share this with a friend, and start this week off with intention. It's Monday night. We got 4 more days left into the week. Go out there and crush your week, guys. And we will see you guys in the next one. Until next time. Peace. Hey, Francis, I appreciate you, my man. The life of Cam, good to see you, my man. Life of Cam says, looking broke is the way to go. I agree, man. Looking broke is the way to go. Dog says sub 200K. The engine is getting warmed up. I agree. AC Worker says paid off. Paid off. AC Worker says paid off. I love it. Dog says paid off. John Kennedy says paid off. I like it. Rolly says I couldn't drive the Cadillac Escalade. It was too huge for me. That's a nice truck. That is a very, very nice truck. AC Worker says you're better off getting an RV. We'll get a Lamborghini, get a Urus. Rolly says I had an MDX. PM says I seen a girl driving a brand new Volvo SUV. Knew what was up. She broke. Oh man. I appreciate you. Good to see you, brother Christian. Brother Christian was in the house. Good to see you, my man. Chief Chick says, I tried to sub and teach after 1 week of dealing with these kids. I walked away. Better than that, be charged with slapping the hell out of some of these smart ass mom kids. Oh gosh.